is the key. Is Kanye West Dunzo? Can he ever recover from this tobacco? He said some crazy statements in the past. George Bush hates white people, black people, excuse me. Taylor Swift, he had an incident there as well. The whole Donald Trump incident. Kanye's been known to put his foot in his mouth, and he seems to, like a cat, have 9 lives and recovers. But is this the final draw for Kanye recovering? It's Drees, man. I appreciate it, dog. This conversation needs to be had for what for what he said. Um, and I feel I actually, in my opinion, of my heart of hearts, kind of blame. I mean, it's Kanye at the end of the day that said what he said, but you also have, I guess he calls a so-called friend that set him up in Nori. I mean, Nori had his highest ratings on Drink Champs when Kanye was on the first time. So yeah, I'm gonna invite you the second time to get some more ratings, make some more money. But I set you up this time, really for the questions I asked you. And again, I really blame Nori for this as well. This tobacco that Kanye put his foot in his mouth. Now he has recently apologized on Lex Philbin's show. Also, Pierce Morgan. He's had a sincere apology, but again, I don't know. Kanye, I don't know if he's going to be able to take his foot out of his mouth this time. And it seems like after watching his documentary on Netflix that he's been troubled for a very long time. This is not something new for Kanye. If you look at that documentary, when he was 20 years old, Kanye has always been very outspoken. He just didn't have the platform or the money to really speak his mind the way he does now. Um, I think he's a very intelligent person, but yet he doesn't have a lot of he doesn't understand social cues or social intelligence, I should say. So, yay. I give it up to you, dog. But you're going to have to change your approach. And again, I understand what you're trying to do, but you went about the wrong way of doing it. You said, you're grouping a category of people together, which is the wrong thing to do because that's been done to us for hundreds of years. Where we're grouped into a category of somebody does something bad, you can't blame the whole bunch just for one person or a couple people's crazy things that they might have done to other people. But you did say hurt people do hurt other people, and he's hurt. He felt like a group hurt him, so he felt like hurting them back, and that's not the right way to fight. If there was eye for an eye, we'll all be blind. So there's other better ways to go about trying to have that conversation with those particular people versus a group of people that hurt you, because you can't, it's not right to obviously group everybody together for a couple people, 10 people. It's based off of experience, and I get it. His experience based off of his hierarchy in regards to being in the billionaire status, the people that he does business with, but it's not everybody. It's not a group. It's individuals, and like Lex Philbin said, let's call out the individuals. Let's not call out the group let's not call out the group. So hopefully he gets better at doing that. But can he bounce back? Can Kanye West bounce back from putting his foot in his mouth, man? Okay. All right. Okay, I respect that. I truly respect that. And you're right. Nori gave him the platform. Um, since then, Nori actually has canceled. Well, they made him cancel or take it down. You can see follow little clips of it. Um, but again, yeah, Nori didn't go beyond a seventh grade education. Well, and I agree with that as well. You have to know, and we always talk about it. You have to know the company you keep. If you associate yourself with idiots, you're an idiot. Um, and Kanye, not to say Nori's an idiot, but you have to have better discernment in regards to the people that are around you are trying to take from you or add to you. And in this case, obviously, Nori put him back on the show and gave him a platform to talk, and he put his foot in his mouth by doing so. Yay, you should learn it, and he's done that many times in the past. Like I said, the whole, George Bush, he hates black people. The whole Taylor Swift movement. Even recently on the Drink Champs about George Floyd. Yay, he said it's premeditated. It's his opinion. I get it. But when you have a platform and a mouth like Kanye, you have to be very specific and very careful what you say and how you say it. And just because you're hurt, and I understand some of his pain has nothing to do with, I guess his pain has something to do with everything he's going through, the divorce. It's got to be very tough for him to go through what he's going through with his children. His wife making a kind of a spectacle about him with the other guy that she's prancing or was prancing around with. That's got to be very tough for him. So this guy, he's in limbo. Losing his mother, which seemed like it was his rock. He looked like he's out there now. And, I wish him the best. And he says he's been off his medication for the last 2 years. And he said he's going to say, some say I should be back on my medication. Well, you probably should, Kanye. But he thinks he doesn't have any issues. He doesn't think he's bipolar. He claims that, his doctor, kind of falsified some of his records and put it out there to the general public of, his medical conditions. He just got to get better. I think he's very talented, gifted artist. He's I think a phenomenal creative. And looking at his track record, watching his documentary, he has been, what can I say? He has been ran over a lot. He is a very determined person. He's very outspoken, but at the same time, he just has to do a better job at using the platform for good versus evil, because he realizes he does represent, a small population of the world that had that billionaire status, and with that comes responsibilities. So, going forward, he needs to do a better job at understanding that platform that he has and that power that he has amongst his peers. So, I appreciate you, Dries, for being on. I appreciate you for supporting this effort. I don't want to get into too much detail. I'm not gonna, I think he's wrong for what he said. Period. At the end of the day, he should have never lumped into a group. Should have been more of a, individual people you can call out. I understand that, but he said it himself. Hurt people do hurt other people, and he apologized sincerely several times. But what he's doing now is Kanye is very calculated, and what he's doing now is he's taking all these interviews that he's been on these platforms and now asking these interviewers to help him to uncover some of these unjust things that have been going on in the music industry. Now, I think he's doing it intentionally because Kanye seems to be very, he is a sporadic kind of person, but he is also calculated as well. His bipolarism, if, you say he's not bipolar, but sometimes it seems like he is, and it kicks in, and he goes from, and he does a lot of times contradict what he's saying. He'll say one thing. He did something with Lex Philman, and we was talking about history, and he's saying that we should not focus on history anymore. We need to go to the future. Okay, great statement. All right, let's do that. But then he talks about history to justify his facts. Well, you can't do it. You got to do it both ways. It can't be just you say it one way, and then then somebody else says something else, and now you double down on your stupidity and go the other way. It just can't work that way. So you either have to stay in one lane or the other, and he'll go back and forth with his statements, which is kind of confuses a lot of people. Confuses me a lot. Do you think he bounces back from this? From this debacle of stupidity out of his mouth? Can he bounce back? Would some of these sponsors take him back in the future, or will he pick up new sponsors that say, okay, all right, we see what you tried to do. We see what you said. You apologized. Was it sincere? And will he bounce back from this? That's a question for you. Will Kanye West bounce back from this foot in his mouth. This Yeezy size, I think he wears a size of 10, I believe. Is his Yeezy size 10? Can he take that out of his mouth? And again, I don't know. Because he kind of, he's crossed the line several times, and I think he's really, really stepped over his boundaries this time. And if you watch, and then the more people watch his interviews, you'll see that he just doesn't make a lot of sense at times. He'll double down on stupidity. He will contradict himself. So he has to. I don't know how he's going to do this going forward. He claims he said he doesn't have an infinite amount of money, but he has liquid $120 million. Well, that's far from a billionaire status, and we all know his billionaire status wasn't necessarily liquid. It was more. It was more so all of his assets on paper, with all his companies that had contracts with. His largest was Adidas with the Yeezys. But can he bounce back? I doubt it. So that's just my opinion. My opinion on it. I agree. It will be hard to bounce back. His music is, in my opinion, is very classic. It is something that will go down in history of top hip hop artists of his generation. But he is ruining relationships. Yes, ton of them. And if you can see across the industry, I've read a couple of things that he's ruined. So now again, P. Diddy, Dunzo. John Legend said he stopped messing with him during his campaign run for president. Obviously, through all these leaders in the music industry, he's burnt those people. Jay-Z burnt that bridge. So it's like, who do you turn to at this point? Who do you run to share that empty space? I mean, he does have a couple still close friends for now with Candace Owens, but who knows what she's going to do to him? Who knows what her ulterior motive is? Who knows? Could be very crucial for him at this point. But again, I appreciate you for being on. We're going to try to continue these meaningful conversations in the future. I want to hear your voice. This is my first podcast stream via YouTube Live. I will go ahead in the future to have a better interface, make it more interactive. As I learn this system, I'm going to get better with it. And we're going to grow until the Franklin Crocker Show and my co-host, we are the #1 show in the world. That's my goal. So, again, everybody, I appreciate you for being here, and we will do this again. God bless. Good night. Peace. Peace.